Welcome to African Tendencies with Baba Love. Greetings, brothers and sisters. I am your host, and it brings me immense joy to welcome you to a transformative space where unity meets empowerment and the heartbeat of Africa resonates around the world. In each episode, we dive into the rich tapestry of Pan-Africanism, exploring the historical roots, present-day movements, and the important role of Christianity. This podcast is more than just a platform. It's a celebration of African tendencies, a fusion of cultures, and a commitment to building nations and empowering minds. Welcome to African Tendencies. Borgani Hotel, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to African Tendencies with Baba Love. We're super excited that you decided to tune in on today for this wonderful broadcast we have today. And today's episode is Your Voice, Our Strength. If you remember a couple episodes ago, we did this same episode in Nairobi, Kenya. So we're excited to do it today here in America, in particular in Springfield, Ohio, with some wonderful people. As you remember, a couple episodes ago, I did the same episode in Nairobi, Kenya, with some wonderful social entrepreneurs and social enterprise folk, and I thought it would be wrong to come back to the States and not do it here. So I'm super excited about these young people that we have on the podcast today to talk about what they're doing in the community and how it has the potential to impact the world. So today, we have with us Anita Armstead, Lazarus Tolliver, and Ariel Colvin. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about what they do, and then we'll go from there. We're going to start off with Brother Lazarus over there. Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. My name is Lazarus Tolliver, as he said. I do filmmaking here in Springfield, Ohio, looking to travel and do more things outside of just, this small town. I use my work to inspire the community and stuff like that. So
great, awesome, glad to have you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Sister Ariel.
My name's Ariel Colvin. I am a Springfield, Ohio native. I am the owner of Ari Lee Skin. I am based in Enid, Ohio, and I'm an upcoming herbalist.
Amen. I like that. Nice. Come on, next.
Anita Armstead. I am also a community herbalist. I am a doula in training. I am an urban farmer, and I also am a cooperative developer.
Amen. Thank you. And listen, this is wonderful because it made me think about when I was in Kenya. And if you know anything about me, I am blackity black. Hey. Amen. So everything I do is done through that lens of Afro-centered and African-centered lens. And so one of the things why this is important, and I say this on the continent, is that the goal is to dispel the myths about African Americans or Black Americans or those Africans in the diaspora as it relates to relationship with indigenous Africans on the continent. Yes. That you realize, and it's a 2022 fact, that 75% of the continent is between the ages of 0 and 19. Mm-hmm. Y'all didn't hear me, right?
Yeah, wow.
It's a young place, right? And it's important that we find a way to connect, especially business-wise and trade, right? Africa, the continent, literally runs the world, right? Most of this technology we have in this room comes from the minerals that's on the continent. But unfortunately, we don't control it, right? And so we got to put brain power and brain trust together to be a part of that process because it's where it's at, right? If you ever get a chance, go travel. So this is my first question, right? It's a Pan-African question, right? In your work, have you ever considered Africa in your work? Have you ever considered the connections of Africa in your work? Because I hear entertainment and I hear herbalists. Now, I can get y'all because I just left. Have you ever considered how Africa is influenced by your work, even if it's unbeknownst to you? Have you anybody ever considered that? Anybody can take that question.
I can honestly say no.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Right.
I can say I have.
Good.
As a urban farmer, learning about agriculture and the history of agriculture, and realizing that a lot of the reason why slaves were even brought here were because of their agricultural skills and the things that they knew. Understanding that connection, knowing that there's a history that has passed through the generations of us being connected to nature and farming. And so looking at that connection and saying, okay, this is something that is in my DNA, right? So how do I tap into that? And so looking at that. And then also more recently, there's been a pull for me to actually venture to the motherland. Of course, being a person of diaspora, unless I go get a DNA test, I don't know exactly where, right? But Ghana or even Kenya, I have a cousin who's in Kenya at the moment who has been like pulling at me to go visit. So I'm planning my first trip in October of this year to Ghana.
Well, good.
And
That's
I
a
was
long
looking
time
at right. That's what I heard. I'm going with it.
February is better. But
February, but October is
good
not.
too.
Yeah,
October's
okay.
good too. February is better.
I ain't have my passport yet by February, so I had to put the brakes. But yeah, so just also going there, I want to see like the things that I've been learning, because recently, the last couple of years, I've been a part of a regenerative farming fellowship that's teaching me about farming practices. And I just want to see the connection when I go there, like what are they doing and how does that look in modern day Africa as far as like farming and the practices that they hold.
Good. I'm gonna come back to that. That's good. Good. Anything to add to that?
Yes, I have considered it. Just trying to understand what my ancestors did and with the herbs being plants and holistic healing came from Africa.
That's right.
From our ancestors. So I've considered it, and that's a reason why I'm starting to take this journey.
Good. Because, today we, unfortunately, we learn a lot from those little 30-second TikTok things.
Reels.
But we know that it's a full of story. You're only getting part of the story, right? When you think about what those terms, the root doctors and all of that, right? Especially black women. Now that's a whole nother episode of the whole healing practices that were brought from the continent to the Americas, right? And also, most of our staple crops that we now call American crops, they came from the continent. Sweet potatoes, collard greens, beet, all that stuff, right? So when we understand that in context, that should empower us, right? And when you go see it on the continent, and that's another thing, it's a continent. Africa has 54 countries. Right? It's not one place, it's 54 countries. So my most experience has been in Kenya. I've traveled Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. I'm missing somebody in there. But you get to see for yourself those practices.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing is that's why this is important too. It's young people, right? You have young people who have committed to farming, to agriculture, to herbalism, feeding themselves. So important. Now, and even on the entertainment side, not to leave Brother Tolliver out, when you see the importance, because remember markets, right? We all in some type of business. We don't do nothing just, because we got to eat, we got to make money, got to, all that's important. Shouldn't be the bottom line in a total sense, but that's important, right? Think about this. Africa has 1.2 billion people, right? That's a market by itself, right? You don't really have to look outside of anywhere else. And guess what? To the audience surprise, they have money in Africa.
Yes,
they spend money in
Yes.
Africa. And they got a lot of it too, right? And so there's a market there, but you got to understand value, right? And so that's important. So let me say this too, just to give a quick definition of Pan-Africanism, and then I'm gonna read one question in its entirety. remember that Pan-Africanism is a social, political philosophy and movement that advocates for the solidarity, unity, and the cooperation of African people, right? Wherever we find ourselves, right? In the diaspora, in Jamaica, in Barbados, right? In Colombia, right? Wherever we find ourselves. That's what Pan-Africanism is about. And the nation building refers to the process of developing a cohesive, unified identity, right? Which is important, right? Because we have to know that our history does not begin with slavery.
Facts.
Right? We come from an ancient history,
No, facts. Yeah.
right? And watch this, and I'm a pastor, and I just got elected to be a bishop too. So listen, I'm gonna shock you when I tell you this. Our culture, and as a people, we are older than religion. Do you know that?
Yes.
Right? So there has to be some value in what our people practice, roots. Those derogatory terms, which is really not derogatory, but that's a whole nother episode too. Witch doctor stuff, right? Those things were practiced and kept our people alive millions of years before we got any figment of organized religion. There's value to that, right? And so as young people, here's the question, right? How do you see individual voices contributing to the collective strength of our community? Or when I say our community, you can break that down to the community that you might be a part of, right? The herbalist community, entertainment community. Or you can speak to, in general, the African American or African community. How do you feel like these type of talks about being African or Pan-Africanism, how does individual voices contribute to that? Anybody?
Well, I would say everybody plays a piece to the puzzle.
Okay.
The more people we see speaking up, the more inspired other people will want to speak up too. Like I said, yeah, everybody plays a part, and everybody just has a part to play.
Cool.
When I hear that, like a vision came in my mind of like the human body, right? Like the human body is collectively a thing of many members put together, right? And each function, like the fingers and the brain and the head. So I feel like separate voices are each just a different function that collectively together creates a whole that makes it flow and work together.
Good.
I feel like our individual voices play a role because you never know. You never know what someone knows or thinking or trying to do. And if we all speak to one another, then we could come together and maybe try to unify.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now, how does we in Springfield, Ohio, the big city of Springfield, Ohio, and I'm a resident. I'm officially a full-pledged resident because I get a tax bill.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about property here? I get a tax bill.
Hashtag goals.
Right. Come on, you do it. Could Springfield use more of discussion and community around being African or African-centered or Pan-Africanism? Is it a place here for this type of conversation that y'all raise y'all hand for and y'all get opportunity to speak for? Ooh, y'all like, cut the camera. Cut the camera.
I'm not from Springfield.
Okay.
I live in Dayton City, which is a little bit about
Okay.
30 minutes from here. But I think that most definitely, as far as if there's a space here, I think that people might not know that there's a space here for that. I think that an awareness, because especially for us in the diaspora, there is whether we are aware of it or not, there is a part of us that is connected. And I think it's just a matter of being made aware of that connection.
And naming it.
Yeah, and naming it, right?
Quit calling it anything else than what it is.
And once that is highlighted and brought to people's attention, it will make room for itself, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Anybody else? That's kind of deep, and then
Yeah, that was
It was.
That's kind of it, right? Because we call it everything else, and that's my whole push in life, really, is to bring the connection of being African-centered back to the center.
Right.
Calling everything else. Like, for instance, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
go
think
ahead.
it could be. When I was over at the Gammon House last summer, there was a book found. They were telling me about there was a book found full of all black businesses. So at one point in
I got it.
time, at one point in time, Springfield was a all black area. So I think that.
Yeah, it was.
So I think that we could do it. It's just about doing it the right way, and maybe connecting with other ethnicities and nationalities that we have here now. I think that if we come together and really come together for each other and the culture, then we could do it.
Why you say that? Just say the name, the Haitians.
Yeah, the Haitians.
That's right.
And
We
I
giving
love
our-
the Haitians.
I know, and
I love
everybody
the
giving
Haitians.
our brothers and sisters a
Yes.
hard time and don't realize hundreds and hundreds of years ago that was us,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Trying to make it. But guess what they do though? That we forgotten to do.
They stick together.
That's right. They came into a town. They got grocery stores, restaurants,
They got
way to handle their money. They
businesses.
done created their own transit system.
Yep, they
When you
got-
see them on them corners with them phones, they call them rides.
They have partnerships.
Partnerships,
Yeah,
right.
see, that's the thing with our community. There's too much individual success. Not everybody's trying to come together and do something together.
That's right.
And, that's some of the stuff that needs to be talked about.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And going back to our Haitian brothers and sisters, remember, if you know the history of Haiti, remember Haiti was supposed to be the model
Yeah.
for how you overthrow colonialism,
Right.
right? And it was supposed to be a safe haven for when you overthrow it in America,
It is where to go.
go to Haiti. When you overthrow it in Colombia, go to Haiti, right? And that's probably why they having so much trouble. They have not, because the powers that be did not want that to be successful. Because you just think historically, that happened in 1804, right? And you know how close Haiti is to America. So it's a lot to learn there. And we have to find a way to bridge those communities, because you're hearing a lot of stuff, even this community. This is not this podcast to talk about that, but you're right. If we just understand collective strength, we can get some things done as a people, even in this small community.
Can I talk about that for a second?
Yes, please.
Okay. So just we live in a culture that pits us against each other, and the capitalism's overarching theme is individualism. So like we really would have to break out of and actually see that model for what it is to begin to extract ourselves from that. So people being individualistic and for themselves in their own pocket is simply a fruit or a product of this environment that we grew up in.
Yeah.
And we have to recognize that there are alternative methods, there are better ways,
Yes.
and that our collectivism, our coming together actually would overthrow that system. And so they make it hard for us to see our
One time,
connections.
snap your fingers.
Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of us are waking up to the fact that we need to come together and unify in order to have better and do better. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I say on that one. Good. Because it's time for
Yes.
that. It's really time.
Yeah, we're in a different time too.
Yeah, it's a different time. And so we have to connect to something bigger than ourselves, right? And my position has always been Africa has more to offer. And also remember this too, is that our people on the continent, they got problems too. Ain't nothing perfect. I'm not
Right.
saying just because you go to Africa, everything right. They got issues just like us. Because remember, they was colonized.
Yeah.
Now, we were taken away and enslaved, but remember, Europeans took their countries
Right.
and everything that go along with that. So they reeling with some things too, but if we all come together because of that land, it's the most fertile land on the planet Earth, right? And so this is the last question, and we're done. All right? This is the trick question. Trick question that's coming. All right? Now, if you okay, if you could paint the world how you saw it, how you believed you needed it to be, right? What would your world look like? You got to drink to that? What would your world be? We're going to start with Ariel, since you had your drink. I said drink. You see, well, I'm from St. Louis. Your drink.
Right.
It's herbal tea.
That's what she said.
If I could, I would see plants and herbs and everybody out growing, eating from the land. Kids out gardening, trading fruits and vegetables. You grow this, I grow that. We swap. That's what I would like to see. Less medicinal medicine, more plant medicine. Yeah, just more of a natural way of living. No violence.
A healed world.
Yeah, a
Sure.
healed world.
I sure. All right.
Yeah, I see a world where children have the space to create, and I see a world where we're helping each other, doing for one another, thinking about our youth, not being selfish, more togetherness, stuff like that. I don't know, just each one reach one, just reaching each other on a different level.
It's a good one. Each one, reach one.
I would say I just think we need a restart as far as from social media to
Yes.
music to entertainment. We just need a whole new way of seeing things because our children are watching. They're
That's
watching
right.
all
That's
the
right.
time, and I think I misunderstood your question earlier about do I think about Africa when I'm doing what I'm doing, and I don't want to say Africa specifically, but I think about our people in
People,
general.
that's right,
I think about our
right,
people in general, and everything is to contribute towards that. So
That's right.
What my plan is just to create a whole different image and a whole different media outlet for our children to come to for inspiration and motivation and just to be creative and stuff like that. I just want to be that inspiration to the world. So.
That's right. Nita?
When I see it, I see it where the veil kind of has been removed from a lot of people's eyes, starting with who they are. Like, I think a lot of us don't really see ourselves the way we should. And if our identities, as far as like what we were actually created to express and reflect in this world, was healed, then we would be proper channels to express the love and the care and the empathy and the compassion that we were created to express. And what would come from that, I can't even envision, because we have never seen anything like that.
That's right. And that's really everything you guys said. This is really to the our first global trade collective. I know you guys will see this too. You guys just named almost everything that came up in that session that we had in Kenya, right? So it's amazing that everyone is saying and thinking the same way. And it's amazing because of technology, we don't connect more, right? One of the things that we saw in Kenya was that people are running their lives and business literally on their phone. It's how you spend money. It's how you pay your bills on your phone, right? And so I want to encourage you guys, as a elder in the room, as an older person on the other side, right? Make sure you're getting around people that are encouraging your spirit and your soul, that helps you connect to your passion and not just chasing the bag.
Right, that part.
Right? Don't, really get around some folk. Or if you don't have it, create that community that is encouraging that. I'm telling you that because I don't know who said it, but it's that lifting off. I did it, and my family did it about 5 years ago. We lifted to the best of our ability. Some things you can, and we still poke at it, but we lifted the Eurocentric point of view of everything off of us. And we chose to put on an African-centered view, which people thought we were crazy, but that's how we see the world, right? because you got to lift that so you can begin to see that herbs are better. That's one thing about going to Africa. You eat better.
Yes.
People are not going to tell you that. You eat better because food is not over-processed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A banana, you ain't tasted a banana until you taste a banana on the continent.
Better.
Even better than the Caribbean. Jamaican brothers don't call me, but to me it's better than it's just better
Yeah, it is.
because it's less processed. Everything, right? And so when we begin to understand that, then we'll be able to put things together when you lift that, right? That I would rather cook at home something that I grew. Or that I raised. If
That
you eat
part.
meat, that I raised. I know where that chicken came from.
Man, I can't
Right.
wait because you talked about it earlier, the agriculture part and feeding themselves off the land. Like
Yes.
that's the type of stories I want to build. Like
Yeah,
my
let's
goal is
talk.
to be international filmmaker. I want to go.
Right.
Right, you're
I
gonna make
wanna
me
get-
shout.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
go see them.
As a
stories.
company, young company that we who did our recording while we were there, Bosch Unlimited, right? Young brothers and sisters in this, man, yes, same thing. Film, he does film stuff, and I'll connect y'all. So as we close, I'm gonna give y'all one last chance. Anything else y'all want to share? I know I told you I was gonna be kind of organic, and I hope it was helpful to start some conversations. So any last thing you guys want to share? Then I'm gonna share
I
some
was just
information.
getting warmed up.
Well, come on, you got it. I mean, I know.
The conversation was a little long, man. I'm just glad I was chosen to be here.
Yes.
Good. Glad to have y'all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Glad to be here. And I'm glad to get the opportunity. I would love to work with some people from Kenya.
Good.
Uh,
That's what
for
I'm gonna
sure.
get to the question.
Yeah.
And so, give me last little plug. Plug your entertainment business or your company. How they can get to you and all that stuff. Plug that. Each one of y'all prepare to plug y'all.
First and last name
Look that camera.
on Facebook, Lazarus Tolliver, Lazarus, Tolliver, 1L. Instagram, it's Lazarus Tolliver _ and that's it. Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok's Ari Lee Skin. Facebook and Instagram, Ariel Colvin.
Thank you.
Right now, I'm just on Instagram. The name of the urban farm is Eden's Harvest. So yeah, Eden's Harvest. I think there's an underscore in there. I was gonna look at it, but yeah, Eden's Harvest. The logo is two hands holding a seed. So
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. And listen, y'all support them. And I'm super excited because I shared that we started the Embedded Leadership Foundation. It's me and Dr. Tammy's Love Foundation that we do work in East Africa. Kenya is our headquarters in East Africa, but we do work in Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, and Uganda. And we started the Mbele Global Trade Collective, and I want to encourage each and every one of you to become part of that collective. In that collective right now in Nairobi, we have filmmakers, we have agribusiness people, we have clothing designers, we have educators, we have herbalists, we have some wonderful, great young people that are a part of this, and I want to encourage each and every one of you to be a part of that. And those of you who are watching, we will be doing another trip to Kenya, February the 2nd, February the 15th to March 2nd, 2025. And
February 15th to March 2nd.
February 15th to March 2nd. And listen, we are taking people who want to partner. We're not taking you to go look at animals and just do nothing. We want to take people who want to partner to do some entrepreneurship, but also there's some parts of the trip where you get to see Kenya, but it's really about partnership. And you'll hear some more information about that
Please.
trip
Please.
soon. So with that, y'all got y'all pictures and all that good stuff? All right. And we want to, as we sign off, we want to give a big shout out to our crew, Brother Mike Tyler on the cameras. Give him a big shout out. And to Bree. I don't know, that's right, get him some. I don't know Bree's title, but she do a lot of stuff.
That girl.
Yeah, that girl. So super excited. And till next time, on on African Tendencies with Baba Love, where we are bridging the gap between Pan-Africanism, Christianity, and nation building. God bless you. Till next time. Hotep, Boragani, Ashe. Hey, I bet you thought I forgot. Listen, we want to thank the good people here at the Kahawa House Coffee Roastery right here in Springfield, Ohio, for allowing us to use their space for recording. It's sourced straight from East Africa. They have coffee here from Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, right here, shipped straight here to Springfield and roasted here. So listen, if you want to get a cup or a bag, you can go to KahawaHouseCoffee.com. KahawaHouseCoffee.com. www.KahawaHouseCoffee.com, where they are curating exceptional coffee from East Africa.